you guys doing?
It does always feel like that.
It does.
Uh-oh.
Like a judge walked in.
Special teams pride, baby. We all have tonight.
Dave Eider, Colton Med School.
That's all right. So we just wrapped up a little red zone. Had a good practice. So go ahead and fire away.
Eddie Goldman, you'd say
Yeah.
arrow up, but
Sorry.
yeah.
No, yeah, both of those guys were, and I think with Eddie, it's close, but right now with putting him on as doubtful, there's still a chance, but it's probably slim. But he's literally gonna be a day-to-day guy. That's not every day. He might have a good day one day, and then he might have a bad day the next day. That's just kind of where he's at. And then with Jason, we feel pretty good with him. So that's the status with those two. Other than that, I think we feel pretty good as far as the health.
Did Eddie suffer a setback after practicing on Wednesday?
No, I just think for him, it's more of testing it out, just seeing where it's at, and just a feel more than anything. So again, it's one of those ones where it is going to be for us day to day, and this is with the time that we're at right now that we put him at this status, and he could. Who knows how the next couple of days go, but right now it would not be arrow up, to where he's at.
Peters, how certain do you have to be that, at his age and with the, that he came to camp late and everything, all that, how certain do you have to be that he won't aggravate whatever injury he has,
You just got to trust in our trainers, trust in JP with where he's at. I thought he had a good week of practice, and so, I think it's more of just a trust thing and making sure that he feels good all week long. And then when we get out there, it was unfortunate what happened last week, but at the same time, he knows how to treat his body, so we feel okay there.
Is it encouraging that you guys don't have to put him on IR? That you think it could be, a short?
Yeah, we're working through all that right now, so we'll kind of know more here in the next couple of days.
Matt, how challenging is it to deal with this situation at left tackle?
Yeah, it's a part of football. Some people are losing guys for the whole season, and you see other teams that have that. But I think right now with where Jason's at, with Jason Peters, he's a guy that we lost him for a little bit of that game last week, but I think he's had a good week, and we feel good there. And then we just got to continue with that depth. Isaiah is ready to go, and that's just a part of it. And having depth, and that's one of the deals coming into this thing was we have depth there. So when you have injuries go down, you got to be able to protect yourself, and I think we've done that.
Matt, with the personnel you have on offense, how would you like to ideally generate those explosive passing plays? Is it yards after the catch or downfield passes?
Both. And I think with some of the changes that we made this year, states the obvious in saying with the speed that we have, that run after the catch, for instance, the completion to Marquise Goodwin on the right side, in that game last week, you saw he caught that ball, he spun out of it, and he got an extra 10 yards, and then he had a penalty with a face mask. So those are great. But you also got to manufacture some, without a doubt. And we did not have, obviously, enough in week one, and we got to be able to definitely be able to stretch a defense vertically, and you can't just dink and dunk your whole way.
Part of the jump between week 1 and week 2 is how everybody responds to what happened. What have you seen this week from this group that gives you confidence that a repeat performance isn't coming?
Well, because of who they are, and then the coaches that we have, and the way that they practiced, they get it. I thought they practiced fast. They were finishing, but now we got to do it when it counts. We got to do it on Sunday, and now we get that chance. They get that chance, and that's all we can do is go on Sunday and see how the results turn out.
I know there were fans there during the preseason, but to get them back for a game that counts.
Yeah, so
That regular season energy going.
Awesome.
What does that mean for you and for this team?
it'll be really neat. We miss that. We really do. And now the preseason gave us a good taste of it because our fans were rocking on the preseason. And that's such a huge advantage. We talk about it as a team, making sure that we protect Soldier Field. We want to protect Soldier Field, and we need the fans' help with that. That's the players feed off of that, the coaches feed off of that. That's real. And you can see the teams in the NFL that have that. It's a huge advantage. You get to a point to where when you have an opponent come to your building, or they look at the schedule when it comes out and they say, "Ooh, we got to go to Soldier Field." "Ooh, we got to go to this place or that place." That matters. And so we want to be able to go out there and do good things so that we can get the crowd going. And when we have them behind us, we feel pretty good.
They'll probably be pretty impatient. Do you feel like it's important for you guys to make sure that
You have the crowd with you
Yeah.
early?
Yeah, we understand that, and we know, I think that, you know, what we've been through here this offseason, since we've drafted Justin, we understand, totally get it. And again, just a reminder that we all want the same thing too. We want him to grow. We want him to continue to do great. So, at the same point in time, it's our job as a team, and on offense in particular, speaking of Justin, is to produce points. And is there going to be a 3 and out? Probably, right? Is there going to be more than one punt in this game? Probably. But we want to score points because that's what everybody likes to cheer is when you're scoring touchdowns. So we just got to have a plan, be prepared, understand, and go have fun and win the game.
In terms of Matt, can you tell us why Simba's questionable on the injury report, even though he never showed up, or he never missed practice?
Yeah, I just I'm not concerned about it. So I think we're okay. Pretty good with them.
Matt, you had I think the fewest penalties of any road team in week 1. How much stock do you put? Is that sometimes the way games are called? Because the Rams only had like 4, but how much
Yeah.
stock do you put as far as your team being disciplined, focused, whatever?
So, Mark, we talked about that Saturday night. We emphasized it all training camp about being disciplined. And that's important because that's free yards. And so on the road, it's hard. And really, the thing that probably impressed me the most was some of the motions and shifts that we did last week on the road when it's loud and silent count, was that we didn't have the false starts other than the one on 3rd and 1. We didn't have a lot of false starts. There's some teams that you saw had a lot of false starts that are on the road. But that part is good. I don't like the taunting, because that's going to be emphasized this year, and the late hit. Those are free yards, and it happened on a touchdown. So those there, we got to make sure, and we talk about it, hey, this is why we can't have that happen. But for the most part, we were low. Let's keep it there. And that's, to me, that's an important part of the game.
Matt, it seems like every year we talk about what your offensive personality is going to be. Is it fair to say that what we saw Sunday was more opponent-specific than what you want to do? And if so, just you personally, when you got here, it was Santa's sleigh and wind and all that sort of stuff. I imagine 10 yards and less is not the way your wire is.
I'm not really, I'm with you on that question. I agree with you. I'm not into all that, but we did it, and that's part of what you just said. There's a little bit with that, with the Rams and what they do. Again, they got that number 99 over there, and you see what happens when you get into passing mode. We're not the only team that happens to, but at the same time, to me, you still, in that point in time, you still want to be able to manufacture sometimes where you can go downtown more.
Is Sunday then probably be a better reflection of what your offense will look like during the course of the season than last Sunday was?
Is that a scheme question?
You're not going to spend all year throwing 10.
I know exactly where you're going. We'll see. We'll see.
Matt, you talked about getting your swagger. You mentioned on Monday. What specifically does that look like for your offense? Again, not scheme related, but sort of the mentality of your offense to get the swagger back that you.
Well, getting in the end zone, because that's when you see all the fun dances. But now listen, it's different this year, right? This year with all the dances, they're starting the clock right away. So if it's a dance, it's got to be super fast, and then you got to run off. But isn't that real though? Like you look at every team that has fun. When they score touchdowns, the sideline's going crazy, right? If you get a takeaway, like on defense, when you get a takeaway, you get that turnover bucket out there. What's it do? It spices up the offense, right? It's complementary. So that we have those guys. They dance all the time at practice, but we got to do it, on game day, and then that's where it just kind of organically happens. And we just, when it comes down to it, we didn't score enough, and last week, and we didn't stop them enough, and so there wasn't as much of that swag. So when you get that swag, you got to score and you got to hold them.
Do the rules sort of dampen you all swag or ability to?
No, you can still do it. You can still do it and have fun. It's got to be quicker. So whatever they come up with, be quick, and then we'll go ahead and either go for 2 or kick the extra point.
Matt, I apologize for taking you back to last week again, but there's one play that intrigued me. The very first 4th down was a 4th and 4 from like the 31 or something. You had Cole Kmet open over the middle, but you had a free blitzer coming, and Andy throws incomplete to, I think, Allen Robinson. the design looked like just what you wanted. It looked good, but the execution was something was off. How did you analyze that play? What went wrong, and how close are you to being able to use that play again and just tweak it to whatever or something?
Yeah, no, we felt really good with that, and there's some things that go on. There's a lot of stuff that goes on within a play, the communication of the line, the decision of the quarterback, the routes by the wide receivers, et cetera. And sometimes, like you said, when Cole they blitzed the left side there, and we had Cole coming, and that's a possibility. But also where Andy went is still a real possibility. And so there's a lot of things that go on in a lot of plays that could happen a lot of different ways. And so we like that. We like where we're at with that. I thought that it's just they made a better play, and we understand that. And those fourth downs, those are critical. We want to be able to execute those. We don't want to be 0 for 4. We want to be better there, but we're gonna still be aggressive when we need to. But every play, I guess to answer your question, is a little bit different. And sometimes when you have a guy popping wide open, that guy, even though you might feel hot, he might be covered by somebody else. So you got to go to your your number 1 or number 2.
Well, if you could, what wrecked that play? What was it the blitzer that you didn't expect, or what? I mean, what?
No, I think probably just being on the road and there's communication that goes on, and then there's just decision making. So it's a part of football. It is what it is. There's we have plays that we design. These guys make decisions, and then you saw it obviously didn't affect us too much because we went for it on the next fourth down. So you know what I mean. So it's just each their own on those plays, and
In terms of
Did you have any conversations with Eddie Jackson at all this week? And I'm curious kind of where you're at with him. Obviously, that wasn't the type of opener I'm sure
Yeah.
he wanted. And he talked to us about owning up that last year wasn't an ideal year for him. I'm just curious kind of where you're at with him.
No, Eddie and I have had good conversations, not just this week, but really all offseason, all training camp. He understands that he's one of the leaders on this defense, and he knows, just like Gip knows. They both accepted responsibility for that. They know that it's not going to happen again. And so now all they can do is get here on Sunday and not let it happen again, and play hard and make tackles and do everything you can to be a great defensive player and teammate. So, but we talk, and we had a good talk. No problem.
What's grabbed you about Burrow? Question.
I can't hear you.
What's grabbed you about Burrow so far? Looking through the film.
Grab me. I'll just say, his arm, just his accuracy, his throwing power, just his deep ball ability. Very talented arm thrower for sure.
Somebody said the other day it's a little quicker than one would think too, when you have to scramble or roll out.
You said he's a little
A
quicker?
little faster than he looks. Somebody said that yesterday.
Oh, I don't know. We'll see.
Jalen, what kind of challenge do these Bengals wide receivers present to you guys on the secondary?
Just their playmaking ability. We all seen what Chase did at his time at LSU, and just even his game 1. Just being able to limit him. T. Higgins a big target. Definitely have to be able to be aggressive with him, and just try to get the ball out at the high points. And then Boyd is a veteran. He's been doing it for some time. He's kind of similar to Cooper Kupp in a way. So, just being able to really take away some of his option routes, take away, and just limit all of their playmaking ability for sure.
What did you take away from watching the tape this week that you guys can take into this game against the Bengals?
No mental lapse at the end of the day. That's all that last Sunday was. So, just really locking in, knowing what our assignment is, taking the right keys, and playing ball. I'm not concerned with anything moving forward. It's just locking in and doing what we know we can do.
What has the vibe been like with the defense coming off of a performance that has been largely uncharacteristic for you guys?
Oh, as a defense, I feel like we're pretty solid. Juiced up for another opportunity to be able to play. I feel like from a defensive back standpoint, I mean, I don't know. I thought we're real hungry for an opportunity just to get back, just to kind of shut people up in a sense. Because, I mean, I feel like people get it confused that we have playmakers, that we have guys that played at a high level for a very long time, and they let one opportunity, one situation that happened, kind of clog their judgment or talk in a certain way. So, I mean, just for us, just about being short-minded and just coming back and bouncing back.
So you think there's been too many, like, grand conclusions made about the Bears' defense based on last week? Is that?
I'm not gonna say the defense. I'm gonna say the secondary. I mean, from the jump, that's what everybody's been talking about. What is the secondary going to be like? Even for me, what is Jalen going to bring to the table? Is he ready to be CB1? What is Eddie going to do? What is Gip going to do? Just all these things you hear in the media. Just what goes on, who talks about what. So I mean, it's just another opportunity to get better.
Jalen, last week, a lot of the mental mistakes, there seemed to be a lot of mental mistakes on the defensive side of the ball. What do you do to fix mental mistakes?
It's a mental mistake. I mean, it's nothing really you can do. I mean, if you ask us, if you ask the guys who made those mental lapses what you're supposed to do, they'll answer the question 10 times out of 10. But I mean, in that moment, it's a lot going on. Guys are trying to read certain things. Guys are eyes in a certain spot. I mean, everybody wants to make a play. Sometimes you get caught in the wrong spots. I mean, it's nothing you can really do outside of just take advantage and do better the next play. I mean, it's nothing too much to look at, to talk about. I mean, everybody knew the mistake when we came to the sideline, but I mean, it's too late.
You're named a captain this week. Do you feel like that's a great opportunity to now kind of prove that, or what are your feelings about being named a captain after, you know, you've just spoken about wanting to prove something as a secondary?
How do I feel? I mean, it doesn't really change anything to me. I mean, it's just about being who I am each and every day. Being a captain, not a captain, I'm going to bring the same energy. I'm going to bring my same leadership characteristics. So, I mean, I don't let the C on my chest or the going out for the coin toss affect anything I do. I feel like that would be a bad thing if I did, if I allowed it to turn me up. I mean, I wasn't giving my all from the jump. So, I mean, I stay consistent to who I am. I'm going to go out and get better each and every day.
Jalen, do you ever play regular season home games in the NFL with fans? What do you anticipate it'll be like?
I hope it's like the Rams. I hope it's a lot of energy. I hope we get a lot of that momentum that they had. Their crowd was fired up when they were on defense. I mean, if our fans are better than their fans, then I can imagine it being really loud and a lot of cheering going on for sure.
How does that affect just the flow of the game? How did you find it to be different than last year when, you know, you were playing in front of empty stadiums a lot of times?
I mean, for me, it's no difference. That's not, I mean, it's just crowd noise to me at the end of the day. So, I mean, only thing that it could affect is communication, just being able to hear each other. So, I mean, just working on hand signals, just working on different alternatives to be able to hear our communication and things like that. But from a playing standpoint, it's all the same to me.
You mentioned the game last week being just a series of mental lapses. Was that not a cause for concern that it was that many mental lapses in the start of the season, or is something you all just chalk up to that and you move on?
I mean, for me, it's life. I mean, y'all not perfect. I'm pretty sure everybody in this room has mental lapses in some way, shape, or form. So, I mean, it's no different. At the end of the day, you know what you did wrong, and you still wake up the next day and you go at it. So, I mean, it's no different for us. I would be a fool if I was to panic and start trying to be who I'm not. So, I mean, I know I'm not a fool, so I'm just going to keep my head down and keep grinding like I've been when we weren't making mental lapses, and I hope everybody else does the same.
How did Sean Desai handle that when he got everybody together? What was his message?
When?
This week, what, Tuesday?
I mean, really just be who we are. 'Cause, I mean, that wasn't who we are, having all the mental lapses. So, I mean, it wasn't even really too much to really talk about. It's just, hey, this is what we did wrong. We can't have it again. So, I mean, it wasn't no panic. It wasn't anything like that. It's just fix what needs to be fixed.
You have a bunch of veterans on your defense who have done this a lot. Does that give you more faith that getting it fixed is an easier thing to do because they've done it over their careers?
I mean, yeah, for me, I mean, I have no panic regardless if it's a rookie, if it's a 10-year vet. I mean, at the end of the day, we all here to keep playing. So, I mean, at the end of the day, you just forget about it, keep getting better. I mean, that's the talk from the bottom to the top of the defense. Just keep moving, keep getting better, keep locking into the details, and be the playmakers that we are.
Thanks, guys.
Phone a friend.
Questions?
Kendall, how would you assess your performance from last week?
I mean, we didn't get the win, so I mean, it don't even really matter for the most part. But I feel like I went out there, tried to compete to the best of my ability, but try to focus on getting a W next time.
Were you able to feel any improvements that you made from year 1 to year 2? Could you feel them working out the way you expected on Sunday?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, even throughout OTAs, mini camp, all that, I've been seeing improvement in myself. So pretty much I have.
Kendall, I know Oliver Davis has played a big part in your fundamental growth as a cornerback. Does he message you throughout the season? Do you keep in contact while the season's going on?
Yeah, man, we talk all the time, pretty much all the time throughout the day and everything like that. He hit me up after the game, just telling me good job and stuff like that. Just a few things that he's seen that I probably need to work on. But yeah, me and him, we talk every day.
What are you seeing on tape from Jamar Chase, T. Higgins?
Yeah, I mean, the great thing is I played against both of them in college. I did. I played against Clemson my junior year, LSU my senior year. But I mean, those guys are pretty good and everything like that. They're young and everything. They're still learning and developing and stuff like that. But they're pretty good. I mean, they have a bright future.
So having played against them, do you feel like you got some of their tendency?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, it's been a while back, so I know everybody, even myself, have improved since then and everything like that. So, I mean, just getting a feel for them in college and then watching film right now and just seeing how they develop, see how I match up with them again. I feel like I'm pretty good to go.
Kendall, what's been the,
Jalen Johnson mentioned that people have sort of forgotten that there are playmakers on the team.
Does this give you all a sort of a chip on your shoulder or a motivation to sort of go out and prove people wrong or get back to that position of dominating on defense?
Yeah, I'll say so. I mean, after any loss or any performance that wasn't up to your par, you always want to bounce back and show everybody what you can do. So that's something that we look forward in as a group to go out there and do Sunday.
What's been the mindset of the defense this week? How have you guys kind of moved on from that?
Yeah, just making sure that we focusing on the little things, because the stuff that we got beat on, it wasn't like, I mean, oh, this person was just better than me and everything like that. It was just the little small fundamental things that we just didn't make sure we took care of. So we pretty much buckled in on that this whole week and be ready for Sunday.
You play the, whatever the defense is called, but do you ever want to go up against a guy like Chase, who's a big name and obviously did well last week, just to kind of, I don't know, if prove yourself or measure yourself? I mean,
I'm just doing whatever coach wants me to do. I'm just go out there and do my thing. I mean, so whoever in front of me, I'm gonna go out there and compete and win my one-on-ones.
How's the morale for the secondary been since that loss last week?
I mean, we came together as a unit. We understood what happened and everything. And like I said, this week of practice, we focused on the little things, and we just ready to go out there and compete.
okay, thank you.